Game 5 of the World Series was, could Justin Verlander finally get the elephant off his back and get his first World Series victory? And he did. And he pitched 5 innings. It wasn't pretty, but he got the job done, and the offense got it done as well.
That's right. This game could be called the JV game. It could be called the Jeremy Peña game. But watch out. The Chaz Chomp came in there, and Chaz chomped up that ball. He chased that ball down, Eric. And we'll talk about the expected batting average during the show. We'll just look at this whole game, 3-2, barn burner. These were dogs fighting, and the Astros come back to Houston, Eric, for Game 6, up 3-2 with 2 chances, hoping to clinch it in 1 in H-Town. Let's go get that second World Series and talk about Game 5 right now.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we update you joins for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talks Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros. Your team every day. Brett, where can you find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive. I love this team. And Trey Mancini, always Stros.
Alrighty. And guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen on YouTube. I believe that we passed the million listens mark, right?
We did. We are over 1 million listens, downloads. It is unreal. I mean, Eric, and we talked 3 years ago, we literally had 138,000 3 years ago. Our audience has expanded. The hard work that you put in, the hard work that I put in, the hard work that we put in as a team. We want to thank all our guests that have been on, all the fans that listen, all of y'all that watch. Thank you so much. If this is your first show or your 100th show or your 10th show, we do this every day because we love it and we love you. Thank you so much. We will be announcing, after everything is done for the season, I will be announcing the giveaways for the 1 million limited edition 4 shirts that will be given away to the general public. Maybe you will be one lucky winner.
Alrighty, guys, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube and make sure you go and give us a like while you're there and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify. Wherever you listen to your podcast, check out the Locked On Astros podcast. And today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, it's where the game starts. And a lot of people talked about the big advantage the Astros had coming into the series was the defense. And that's exactly what we saw in this game, especially because we saw that they kind of messed up a play at first base. I believe it was Kyle Schwarber dropped the ball that allowed I believe it was the third run at the time to score. That was a big insurance run. And Alvarez was out on the play, but I think it was Altuve was able to score.
That was Rhys Hoskins is their first baseman. It was
Rhys Hoskins. Okay,
yeah,
that's right. I'm just excited about that, and the fact that you had, unfortunately, Yuli Gurriel was at third base, and he was running on contact. Chas McCormick hit it right to the third baseman. Unfortunately, he got caught in a rundown, and so Peña was trying to make it where Chas McCormick was able to get to second base, and he did, but unfortunately, he got hit in the head, kneed in the head, and I think he got his pride kind of wounded as well because that was kind of a awkward situation. But Trey Mancini would come in later and make the play of the postseason.
No, of his life, Eric.
Yeah.
Let's not downplay it. There were 4 people in this game that gave plays or did something. It was the most important thing they've done in their pro career at this time. Right. You know, Jeremy Peña with his 3 for 4. I mean, just the dog that he is at the plate. Trey Mancini, as you mentioned, at first base, because if that ball squeaks through, it's a tie game. We're probably talking about maybe they score that run off a third, momentum totally shifted, and the Astros not winning. Ryan freaking Presley coming in and being an absolute animal. And then Justin Verlander. When Justin Verlander was interviewed, he in the dugout, he says, look, I don't care about the win for myself. I just want my team to get the win. But those guys right there, it's like, who does the game ball go to, Eric? Can we cut the game ball in quarters and give a portion of it to each person? And maybe the game ball goes to Dusty Baker because there was a lot of questions with his bullpen moves and where's Ryan Stanek? And is this too early to bring in Presley? And did you leave Montero in too long? And all this stuff. Man, this is what team baseball is all about. And even if the bats are kind of cold, they still find a way to win because they're just that good.
The play of the game has to be Chas McCormick in the ninth inning with JT Realmuto up there. And he hit a slider that that actually Chas McCormick said after the game, he thought it was actually going to be a home run. But fortunately for the Astros, it stayed within the ballpark and it stayed to a height where Chas McCormick can reach it. And it had an expected batting average of 690. That's pretty darn good. That means most likely that's going to go as a double, as a triple. But Chas McCormick went up there, scaled that wall like Spider-Man, and caught that ball. He didn't care if he got hurt. His goal was to prevent that double or that triple in that situation. And
Yeah.
he said that's probably one of my best catches of his career. Yeah, that is your best catch of your
That's
career.
yes.
Yeah.
Let's frame it. Let's hang it in the Louvre. That deserves to be memorialized. I need it in the Smithsonian next to the Constitution. I'm dead serious. It's that big of a deal. Chas McCormick going out there and having a game. But Eric, I don't know. I might have to say the play of the game. I might have to differ with you on this. I think it's Trey Mancini because when they hit that ball to Trey Mancini, there was a guy that was going to score and would have tied the
First
game.
and third, yeah.
Yeah. So, look, there are several key moments in this game where you pretty much had heart palpitations. I was thinking about getting the CPAP machine and just wearing that while I was watching the game because my son's like, Dad, are you going to have a heart attack? And I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. And so it was an emotional roller coaster. And it did look like Yuli Gurriel was hurt. We hope that it's not like something like concussion protocol because you want him to be able to go in Saturday's game. But even if Gurriel isn't there, I think you still have a solid team you're fielding. I like our chances. And we'll talk about Framber going here in a second. But Eric, Jose Altuve and Jeremy Peña, 5 for 8, 2 RBIs, and 3 runs. All 3 runs came from Altuve and Peña. These guys manned up. Altuve, for all the criticism he's taken, and he still has 0 home runs and 0 RBIs and 99 plate. I forget what the number is, but in how many plate appearances he's had this postseason, I forgot the number. I was going to remember. I didn't write it down. He doesn't have an RBI or a home run. But the Astros are up 3-2. And isn't it true that they have not lost a Game 5 in a World Series? Every Game 5 they've played in, they've won because, they got swept back in 2005. So they didn't even get to a Game 5. I believe in 17, 19, and 21, they won every Game 5 because Game 5, 17 was the miracle game, the 13-12. 19, they won all those games at Nationals Ballpark, and 2021 they won Game 5 in Atlanta because that's why we had a Game 6. So there you go. All the Game 5s they've played and they've won. We just got one more game to win, Eric. We're on the brink of the Houston Astros winning their second World Series in 6 seasons. This is freaking amazing. I love this team.
All right. And this is also the first time since Game 5 of the 2017 World Series that the Astros have won by a margin of 1 run. How do you like them apples? Because that's just, that's impressive for them to do that, especially again. I know it got a little bit, it got a little choppy at the end, a little scary, but the Astros bullpen kind of pulled together. It looked like Montero was kind of maybe overused in this series. So I would still bet on this bullpen any day of the week. And I think that Bet Online probably has the Astros winning in 6. So what do you think?
Online's a great place to go. Bet Online actually had the Phillies favored today, and the Texans almost upset that. You had a really good chance to get a little bit of money if you picked maybe some of the over under numbers on there. I just know that when you get to betonline.net, they have the best action there. They've got podcasts, they've got information, they've got articles, and they get the numbers out first. We've actually talked to some of their guys, some of their top guys that lead the numbers, that get the numbers out there. And there's nobody in the industry that does it better than betonline.net. I know for myself, it has been fun, and it is a place that I go to place all my sports wagers. And it is something that I think you should go do. So right now, you need to go to betonline.net because it has all the action, whether it's MMA, boxing, golf, NFL, NHL, NBA, World Series, whatever it is. Remember, BetOnline, it's where the game starts.
All right, we have breaking news.
I
All
like
right.
it.
According to Chandler Rome, Yuli Gurriel left the game with right knee discomfort, according to the Astros. And if you go back and look at the play, his knee kind of bent backwards when
It did.
yeah. So that was the situation. So I did see him in the dugout. He was kind of like this, kind of covering his head. And so a lot of people thought, oh, maybe he has a concussion, but maybe it was just his knee was in discomfort there. And so hopefully it's just day to day, but granted, it's only possibly one game left. So Yuli Gurriel has been a big piece to the Astros postseason. What is he batting now? He's batting what? Pretty good, 347 with the 850 OPS. He's been a big part of why the Astros are one win away from winning the World Series. So if his bat is absent from the lineup, that's going to be some big shoes to fill. Who's going to do it? Trey Mancini. Are they going to go ahead and take Gurriel off the roster? I don't think
No,
so. I don't
no.
think they'll do that.
Unless he goes in a concussion protocol, but no, I don't think. And I mean, he did take one to the dome pretty good there. And I mean, look, that's a play that you're supposed to make. That is, you're going on contact, you're trying to run, you're trying to put across runners. But Eric, they did that tonight. They advanced runners in key situations.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah, the
didn't.
perfect hit and run by Jeremy Peña
Exactly. Oh,
and
that
Altuve.
was phenomenal. I mean, it was almost like, okay, I'm going to hit the ball here. You're going to run there. You're going to step over the ball. It looked almost choreographed. It was done to perfection. I think towards the end there, I was like, okay, look, Maldonado's in there. He's an 0 for at the plate. Maybe we should put Vasquez in. Or was Maldonado do? He goes up there and gets a hit. And so at the end of the day, 3-2, 5-2, 10-2. Yes, Ordon out. Ordon, gosh, I can't say his name.
Gordon.
Actually, it should be Odon tonight because Yordan Alvarez he has really kind of taken a step back, 188 right now for the postseason, and he's just not himself. He's not taking the best hacks, and the hacks that he's taken, he's either just on top or just under the baseball. But what I liked tonight was I liked watching the relief pitchers come in like Brian Abreu. And when you notice Brian Abreu has his best stuff is when he stays behind the baseball. And John Smoltz talked about this a lot all series. When his hand stays behind the baseball, he's allowed to get that spin in that rotation. And he's allowed to get that ball to travel and break in the back part of the zone where it makes it almost impossible for the hitters to hit. Because this game almost had a tone set where the Astros scored one, and then Kyle Schwarber, the second pitch of the game, hits a solo shot. You're like, oh crap. Like the Phillies are going to come out bangers tonight. And after that, Kyle Schwarber didn't get in. He had one strikeout, one walk, but he only got the one hit. So they neutralized him, and they pretty
The
much
Schwarber's ball that went to Mancini, so that would have been something.
Exactly. No, right. But again, they were able to get that out.
Right.
So that was absolutely phenomenal. Look, this Phillies team is not coming back to Houston going, oh, we're down 3-2. We're probably not going to win. They're going to come out fighting. Houston's going to come out fighting. It's going to be game 6 is going to be the war in H-Town. It's going to be the Bayou battle. I mean, it is going to be back and forth heavyweights taking, left hooks on the jaw, right hooks, uppercuts, and whoever is standing at the end is going to win, because it's not whether you get knocked down, it's what you do when you get knocked down. And I think the Astros, Eric, are poised to have a nice Game 6 result.
After the Astros started today's game, I know that after the game, Jeremy Peña said that Altuve had a triple, but it was actually double and an error. But after that, and then him in to get the run, then you had Schwarber with the home run, like you said earlier. Noah Syndergaard kind of settled down for a little bit until the fourth inning, and then Mr. Jeremy Pena, that he crushed that ball. And this guy is the first rookie shortstop to hit a home run in the World Series. So he keeps on doing stuff, and this is not. We're not going to even say the previous guy's name. This is a different fella. He's somebody who's made his impact felt on this Houston Astros team, and he's going to be here for a long time. He's got a 333 batting average, 1,000 OPS, and he is one of the big reasons why the Astros are doing. Sorry, actually, am I looking at the right game? Yeah. So it's just super impressive what he's been doing so far. He had 3 hits today. Altuve had the 2 hits, and then Bregman. I don't know. I really don't know what happened. Did they say he originally wasn't hit by the pitch, or
No, they just thought the ball didn't hit his foot. I mean,
oh,
the
okay,
ball clearly hit his foot. They just didn't think it hit him, and that's why they challenged it.
oh, okay,
Because why are you going to let a guy take a base if the ball doesn't hit him? I mean, this is a game of inches right now.
right,
This is a game of 1 run or 2 run or 3 runs,
okay.
and so yeah, that's all that was.
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw the replay. Then I saw him go to first base. I was in another room doing something. I'm like, oh, okay. So, but overall, the offense had 9 hits today, and it looks like they're doing a little bit better overall. And then they have to face Zach Wheeler, and Zach Wheeler looked a little bit hittable in the last game. They scored 5 runs, and I know Aaron Nola looked hittable in game 1, and he presented a little bit more of a challenge early, but the Astros eventually got to him. And I've thought this throughout the whole time. Outside of the Phillies scoring off of Justin Verlander a couple times in game 1, and then you had Ryan Presley give up the unearned run. Then you had Lance McCullers give up the 7 runs in game 3. The Phillies have not. I mean, and then you had Verlander give up 1 run today. Then you had Montero give up 1 run, but they've done most of their scoring against the starters, and it's just impressive how after that offensive explosion in game 3 that the Astros just come in and just kind of said, no, you're not going to control. We're not going to just let you homer left and right. But I'm not going to lie. That first homer by Schwarber was like, okay, here we go again. But Justin Verlander got his first World Series win.
Yeah, exactly. He did get. Good thing it's not his first major league win. Actually, if it was, Eric, then we would have 16 years of Justin Verlander. That would be fun. But
Yeah.
I digress. But one of the things I wanted to point out, Eric, because you're talking about pitching and Justin Verlander being key. If you look at him, I mean, 5 innings, 6 strikeouts, 4 walks. I think maybe some of those walks were on the umpires, only the 1 solo shot and 1 run. But look at what the Phillies pitchers did. Noah Syndergaard came in 3 innings. He gave up the 2 runs and 3 hits, but he had 4 strikeouts. I mean, he gave up the home run, and then Brogdon came in and had 5 strikeouts. The first 2 batters in 9 innings the first 2 batters in the first 5 innings, the first 2 pitchers had 9
Had 9
strikeouts
strikeouts. Yeah.
in the first 5 innings. There you go. But after that, in innings 6, 7, 8, and 9, they only struck out 3 Astros.
Mm-hmm.
So the Astros really took advantage, and that's what we talked about on this show. It was a big advantage for the Houston Astros to go against the Phillies bullpen because the Phillies bullpen is not as solid. Robertson was making mistakes tonight, and the Astros were waiting on it. The Astros did what they got 6 hits, Eric. They only had 6 hits.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't hit the cover off the ball, but they did enough. And in baseball, you don't have to score a lot. You just have to score more than the other team, even if it's 1 run.
Yeah, and before the game, I know that Baker was asked, "Well, do you have much of a leash on Justin Verlander?" He said, "No, Justin Verlander doesn't have a leash at all. He's Justin Verlander," and so he let him stay in for the 5 innings to qualify for the win, and then he went quickly to the bullpen because that is the Astros' strength this postseason. I have never felt more confident about the Astros bullpen than I do this year. I mean, imagine, I know we had a good one in 2005, I believe, and, or did we, no, it
Dude, come on. I can't remember that
I know
roster right now off the
Wagner
top of
was
my
there,
head.
but,
Yeah, Wagner was there, but yeah, no. I know that because we talked about the bullpen in 19 and the bullpen in 21,
right,
and it wasn't near Eric. This is the best bullpen. This is the best pitching staff that's ever been assembled in Major League Baseball history.
right,
I'm dead serious, and I don't even think. I mean, go listen to the talking heads. Ryan Presley goes in 1 2/3 innings and gets 2 strikeouts, doesn't give up any walks, and absolutely looks masterful out there on the mound. Of course, he did have some help from his defense, but he got the job done. I mean, there's so many good things that happen in this game. And I know there's so many negative Nancy's out there. Oh, we got to hit more. We got to get more offense. Look, no, you don't. Not with this pitching staff. And that's what we've been trying to tell you. They are next level. And they need to keep Montero. These young pitchers they have on the mound and the starting rotation, they're going to have them, Eric. And whether JV comes back or not next year, I think the Astros will be fine. It would be great to have him back again. But if he doesn't show up and he signs somewhere else, I think we're going to be okay because
right.
this team was built. This team was built, and Lunau's thumbprint is still on this ball club today.
Yeah, and somebody asked about Yuli Gurriel. All we know is that he left today's game with I think I said left knee discomfort.
Yeah, you
No,
said that earlier.
right knee discomfort. So it was right knee discomfort. And that's from the rundown play where he kind of twisted it when he was trying to avoid the
Yeah.
awkward play when somebody hit him in the head. So hopefully it's not something that's going to keep him out of game 6. Like I said, he's been one of the Astros' best hitter in the postseason after struggling all regular season. And that's why a lot of people need to understand that the regular season stats don't really matter, because look at what Altuve did in the regular season, but he's struggling now. I mean, he struggled, but he's doing a lot better in the World Series. He's looking more like playoff Altuve. I just want, before this World Series is over, get a home run, Altuve, just for old time's sake. Just get a home run. You can do it, and do
So
it at
hey,
Minute Maid Park.
Eric, I think this guy Joey I think that's a Seattle. That looks like a Seattle Kraken logo. I can't tell. He always comes in here and he's pro Astro. I wonder if he's like a secret undercover like Mariners fan that loves the Astros more than his own Mariners. I would just like to ask him what that S is. Joey Hurwitz. Is that a symbol for the Seattle Kraken or what? But he loves the show. I see a lot of y'all regulars. I see a lot of people that are first timers. And you know what I don't see? I'm looking, Eric, and I've been looking this whole time. 2 nights in a row, I don't see any Phillies fans. Where did the Phillies fans? Oh, they disappeared like the Philadelphia Phillies wins. I love it. I love it. You know what? They're always welcome here. We'll console them. I'm confident going into game 6 for this team, Eric. But they still have to go out and get all the outs. They have to get 27 outs. They have to have more runs than the other team. All the obvious cliches you throw out there. I just think that this year is different. And I think with this run, and this is the first time that the Phillies have lost 2 games in a row in the playoffs. And I think this might just be, after that second game, might be the final blow that helps the Astros get over that hump and hoist the trophy where no one can say a single freaking word about controversy or trash cans, because those takes deserve to be in the trash can. So thank you, Astros. Keep grinding. We got your back.
All right, so we asked for it, and David Hensley was back in the lineup tonight. He did get one hit, but then Trey Mancini ended up back in the lineup anyway, so it kind of offset the whole thing. But I think it's good that Dusty Baker is realizing, okay, these guys aren't doing anything. Ledmus Diaz has one hit and 20 at bats, and then Mancini has 0 hits and 20 at bats or something like that. So those guys weren't doing anything. So you have to make the change. And I know that's against his nature, but he's got to win a World Series. You have to kind of change your line of thinking if you want to succeed in a World Series. And that's what we see him kind of trying to do here. So I just think that everything in this game was right. I think I'm kind of worried about the fact that I know Abreu has been dominant so much, and he's got like 10 scoreless innings during the postseason or something.
Yeah.
But we can't keep on using him for multiple innings. But I know we have off day and before Game 6.
Yeah, we have an
And
off day. My
yeah,
question though, Eric, is Stanek. I understand the matchups and it worked out, and I'm not complaining about a win, okay? But if Stanek's first significant innings come in Game 6 and it doesn't work out for you, it's almost like you have to go, well, of course, maybe because he hasn't pitched in a while. But then if he goes in, you're like, okay, wait, this was the perfect moment. Maybe we're just waiting for that one shining moment to throw him in there. But it's just odd that he hasn't been used. And again, it's worked. I can't argue with it. It's worked. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But I wonder what Stanek's thinking. Because I know, talking to him twice on this show, how much of a competitor he is. And I know he's a regular guy. He's a selfless player like pretty much every player on this ball club and this organization. But I wonder what he's thinking. Like, is his confidence taking a hit? Or is he just like, okay, it's just business as usual. I show up if they need me, if they don't need me. And in the offseason, we're going to talk to him. He said he would come back on the show and we will get to talk to him. And maybe we'll ask him some of those questions. Like, what's that like when you're in there waiting to go in? What's that like if you get up and get warmed up and you don't go in the game? But I don't know, Eric. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I'm just like, where is Stanek and why is he not being used?
Hunter Brown is another guy that we haven't seen much of too. But I know
Well,
he's a rookie.
right, exactly. That's exactly what I was say. Him being a rookie is a lot more understandable. I think if the Astros would have been in a 7-2, 9-2, 12-2 game, that you would see Hunter Brown. But some of these high leverage situations, that's where Ryan Stanek thrived, and he hasn't been given the opportunity to do that. People are stating maybe because of walks and stuff. But go look at his ERA. He did set a regular season record over an entire season of lowest ERA by an Astros reliever. So, I don't know. I'm just wondering because I know I'm not the only one
Right.
that
We
is
are all
asking that
yeah,
question.
we are all kind of thinking that, Brett. And you know what Phillies fans were thinking before today's game? They were yelling to Justin Verlander, cheater, cheater, cheater. And they're also saying 0 and 7, 0 and 7, 0 and
Really?
7. Yeah.
0-7. How do you do that? That's like didn't have a 0-7. Oh, I guess that's the cadence. Well, you know what? 1-7.
No, 1 and 6, I think.
1-6.
So they're trying to predict that he was going to lose another game. So,
That's what. Hey, look. Phillies fans, we've seen videos of them taking a piss on baseball cards in the urinal, on Astros player cards that aren't even current players. I did dispel this whole rumor, this whole Angelo's Pizza thing, where they decided not to deliver pizza to the Astros, Eric.
mhm.
Actually, what I heard was they were asking them to deliver it after hours, after they had already closed, and
Oh,
they said we're not going to deliver it after hours, and especially if it's the Astros. So it wasn't a full on denial like I thought it was, but I still want to find out who served them. I still want to send them a little bit of money for serving the Astros after hours because they got their food somehow. And then the whole Mattress Mac thing, like the gangster Mac going around, our friend Mark, who does the parody songs, get this, he does the parody songs, and he did Don't Mess with the Mac. He is actually going to be recording a song to lyrics that I wrote for Framber Valdez before Game 6. So
Right.
I can't wait till that comes out. That'll be fun.
All right.
Anyways,
So let me go and check the notes. So I'm looking at Dusty Baker's notes, and what he has to say is that Farmer Valdez did really good last time against the Phillies, and he pitched 6 1/3 innings, only allowed 4 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts. So Farmer Valdez, if you want to do that again, that would be nice. Let's just let's just do it again.
nice. Let's do it, man. Let's do it again. Let's run it back. Let's get another title. People are asking us in the chat, what do the Astros have to do to be called a dynasty? I think they have to win at least one more, which I think 2022 is the perfect year, and Game 6 is the perfect place to do that. So I think that's where that whole thing lies. But you know who's not worried about the dynasty talk, Eric? The Houston
Yeah.
Astros. The Houston Astros don't care about that stuff. They just want to win. And Chas McCormick and them, they were like, we're tired of losing these games. The last game they lost, we're tired of stuff like this, and we're going to do something about it. And they have absolutely been complete nails, dude. It's just, I love this team, Eric. I love this team from the rookies to the veterans. Everybody's contributed in some form or fashion. Well, unless your name's Ledmus Diaz. Um, most people have contributed on this team, and it has been a total team effort.
Alrighty. So if you're looking at what Zach Wheeler did in game 2, this is actually a rematch of game 2. So he pitched 5 innings, had 6 hits. He allowed 5 runs, only 4 of them were earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. The velocity was down quite a bit. So I know afterwards, Thompson said that it wasn't, he was okay. It was more just fatigue. He's pitched a lot. So they gave him an extra day rest here. So now we're in a situation where he's going to be pitching in Game 6 at Minute Maid Park, where he kind of struggled. And so it makes you wonder if the Phillies did the right thing. At home, you got to get that win, the home win. Why didn't you go with Zach Wheeler in that game? But I'm fine with it. I know Syndergaard did great.
Well, I do think Wheeler's arm issues and him coming back so late in the season are still a major concern. I think this would be a different series. I don't know Astros may still be up 3-2, but I think Wheeler is a different pitcher if he's 100% healthy, further removed from injury, things like that. Just like, honestly, Eric, I think Lance McCullers' elbow is a much bigger issue than what the Astros have let on. I just think that's why he hasn't been sharp ever since he got hit in the elbow with that champagne bottle. And it makes you wonder that if they don't take Game 6 and they go to Game 7, if Lance McCullers is your guy, how long are you going to let him go? Because you cannot let him throw a disaster of a game like he did last time. And is he rested enough? How's his elbow feeling? Is he in pain? Can he grip the ball? Can he get the spin? Because when he doesn't get the spin and the ball planes out, boom, the ball flies out. So those are all questions that we won't really want to have to tackle until we get to that situation. I think Framber Valdez takes care of business, Eric. I think this offense takes care of business. I think the home crowd gets things going, and I really like our chances Saturday.
Yeah, and with how he handled the Phillies last time, you have to wonder if the Phillies are being like, okay, so we're down 3-2. Now we have to face this Framber Valdez guy who we barely got any hits off of, and he looked pretty good against us. So, I mean, I know even after the no-hitter, they're like, oh, it's just a game. The no-hitter part doesn't matter. Yes, it does. It does matter. It's something that's going to be remembered for the next 100 to 200, 300 years, whatever it is. They're always going to remember whatever.
Well,
So,
here's the deal. Are you talking about all the chatter about how a combined no hitter is not a real no hitter?
oh yeah, I mean,
Because
yeah,
Don
that too.
Larson's, like I think someone who's either related to Don Larson or an older Yankee player who's retired basically was like, what you need to do is roll out Christian Javier and have him throw 149 pitches like Don Larson did, because he kind of got babied and pulled off the mound early. And I'm like, look, guys, look, save it, save it. That's for the birds. It's illegitimate, because if it was the Phillies that did it, no one would say jack crap about it. And you all know it. All you haters out there, you just like to knock someone when they're down. If the Phillies would have done it, if the Dodgers would have done it, if the Yankees would have done it, you would have been like, oh my God, it's the first time ever, and like freaking out and going nuts over it. Sorry. It's legit. We don't care what y'all think. It was an amazing feat. Not only that, it was the same closer and the same starter in both games in the same season. I mean, and then Javier struck out 13 this time, 14 the time before. So, like, what more can you ask for, right? And yeah, of course, Schwarber said he said, I don't give a, an SHIT. That's fine. He needs to have that attitude. He's Kyle Schwarber, okay? They call his home runs Schwarbombs. I mean, this guy's got a swag. I mean, he's a big dude. He doesn't give a crap about a no-hitter, and they're going to come out tonight and say, we don't care if they're up 3-2. We're going to come out and get the next 2 games. That's what kind of team they are, and that's why the Astros have to come to play.
All right. So my friend Amory sent me this, and he said there's a place in Philly that said each time they get a hit, you take a bite of your hoagie, and it's Schwarberfest. And then the next day, he said, I woke up hungry. Let's get him tonight, because there were no hits. So he didn't get to eat his hoagie.
Oh man. Oh, there you go. I love it. I love it.
So
Let's starve them out,
yeah, so it wasn't definitely no hitter in this game, but still, the Astros did what it took to get them win. 3-2 is a lot better than 2-3, and you've got 2 games at home. I'm not saying it's a shoe-in for the Astros, but it's a great opportunity with Framber Valdez on the mound, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But definitely, I'm excited about this game. I think the Astros can do it, and I feel really good about this team. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried after game 1. Didn't worry me. Game 3 was the one that worried me,
Oh,
and
okay. I was like, wait.
I said that the first home game against the Phillies was be the roughest. But I thought that the other games would be winnable, and they were. Take the crowd out of the game. That's what they did in game 4, and the crowd was pretty much out of it except for the later part of today's game.
Yeah, it's, the Astros are here. They're up 3-2, Eric. It's beautiful. They're going back home. They get to sleep in their beds. They get to have their home cooking. They get to hang out with their families. And it's going to be a quiet flight to Houston for Philadelphia. It might be, I don't know, it might be quiet for Houston so they can let Gurriel get his rest, because he may not be feeling well. But I don't know if you saw Kate Verlander right there, front row behind the Astros dugout. She's right there in view every time Justin came off the mound. I'm sure she was like, hey, Justin. And so that's really cool to see his family there in attendance. It was neat to see the Astros fans there in force. We actually had someone tag us who follows the show, Eric, who got a standing room only seat last minute and showed up at the World Series game, and they got to be there. So if you got to be there, congratulations. I'll be there Saturday, so stop by and see me. I'll be like, I don't know, 419 or something like that. It's going to be a blast. Wheelhouse Jr. and I will be there. We'll be in force. We're undefeated in playoff games. So we haven't lost since 2017, when Wheelhouse Jr. and Wheelhouse Sr. are in the building.
Thoughts by Dusty.
All right, to kind of close out the show, I do want to have Dusty Baker's thoughts on Yuli Gurriel. He said his right knee is a little sore because in that rundown play, I know he got kneed in the head, and we were afraid that it was his head, but he's day to day, and he'll get treatment tomorrow and the next day, and then we'll make a decision. So basically, he's not. They're
You
not.
think he's out for Game 6 for sure?
I don't know. I mean,
because if he's getting treatment, then if he's getting seen on Friday, which you're listening on Friday, Eric just dropped. I don't know. Hey guys, I'm flying solo right now. I don't know what happened. I have the technical difficulty for listening. Eric just disappeared from the show, so I don't know what happened. Maybe he got taken by aliens. Maybe a Phillies fan kidnapped him. I'm not sure. But I love that the Houston Astros were able to score their runs. Now, I would have liked to score more than one run in each of the innings they scored, like 3 or 4 would have been nice, but a win is a win. JJ Matijevic to replace Yuli, that's a good question. I don't know. They're probably going to put Trey Mancini. You're probably not going to put JJ in there. He hasn't played baseball in a while. So let's just say this. The Houston Astros have a great game plan. They have Framber Valdez, and if they have a lead late in the game, they're going to empty the tank. They're going to put out their best arms, and they're going to go for broke. And it is just something that I think Houston needs to sit back and watch. If you can't get to the game, go to Cobos Q, check them out. Go to Little Woodrow's, check them out. Go to Pitch 25. Go to these local establishments and check out the different venues. Go to a watch party on Saturday. Be amongst Astros fans. Be somewhere close to Minute Maid Park and be a part of the celebration because we're hoping to party it up after game 6 on Saturday. There you are. Hey, Eric, welcome back.
Yeah, my computer just shut down. I'm like, wait, what the heck is going on? Is this Rob Manfred again?
I opined about a Phillies fan possibly kidnapping you. We weren't sure.
Alrighty, but guys, that's all we got for this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. Hopefully, we'll be back on Saturday talking about another Astros victory, and we may do another show tomorrow. So we'll see what's going on. But guys, thank you for tuning into Locked On Astros podcast, making us your first listen every day. And we'll see you later. And Go Astros, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, and we'll see you later.